We're currently on the Blue Ridge Parkway, one of the most popular sites in the national park system in the United States. And we're heading to one of my favorite places in the world. Setting up the shot. This is just crazy. We had some rain on the way here, and it slowed up the drive somewhat. But still here, an hour and a half before sunset. Although you can see it's plenty dark with the cloud cover. But what I'm going to do, there's a short hike to the waterfalls here called Linville Falls, and I figured this is probably the best time to try to get some shots of this, and then I'll camp at the top of the gorge on the western side this evening, and in the morning I will hike down and go into the gorge itself, down to the lower part of the Linville River. But at least I can get something in today, and there's not very many vehicles in the parking lot at the head, at the trailhead, so I don't think there's gonna be many people down here. And it actually breaks off, the trail does, in two directions at the tail end. One is going to be up above the falls, one below the falls, and depending on where the people are will probably determine which way I try to go on that, because it is just kind of gloomy. I do have a headlamp with me to hike out of here. The trail is well defined. It's not like I'm going to get lost, and I've been on it several times, so we should be good on that part. But this will be a little bit short, but it's I won't plan on being here a full day for day one anyway. And like I said, it'll give me a chance to get some shots of the falls without a lot of people around it. This is Linville Falls. We've got two splits here, but this isn't the whole thing. There was a video came out several years ago, a YouTube video, where some kayakers went down. And I mean, looking at this, looks like any whitewater kayaker could try that. But that's not the extent of it. Of course, you come down this portion here, and the falls continue through here. And then the fun part happens as it flows through the canyon here and then drops again. And you may be able to tell that what we see here, it's a lot further down that way. Absolutely beautiful place. For a composition, I'm going to take one shot over here of the left fall, back over here, but then I want to get a long exposure on this part. I'm starting to get a little bit of rain, so I'm going to have to kind of hurry up in case it does start raining. I can pack everything quickly. So we'll get a shot here, and we'll go over that in just a second. but I want to catch the water flow as well as the flow of the rock there. Can't tell it as much here, but the rain has started falling again, and the shot I really wanted the falls is that way, about another mile looking back, and I may wait till the third day to get it, because I just don't want to get caught out here in the rain with my camera gear. But one of the reasons, I mean, this is a great place during the fall with the colors. But right now, here at the first week of June, we have these flowers blooming all throughout. And I feel like I'll be able to get some good compositions out of it. I don't have very many summer shots here. I do have some fall and actually some winter as well. But I think it'll be a nice contrast of the green and then the white of the flowers, the grays and reds and oranges of the stone throughout the gorge. But this place brings back a lot of memories, and some of the most recent is last year, about 11 months ago, the family came down and my daughter and her friend and I came down here and I shot some senior portraits for them. So she'll always have those photos of us down here at the falls and several miles to the south on the gorge of we'll have those portraits from where she was beginning her senior year, and I'm guessing I was maybe somewhere between 8 and 12 years old. My grandmother and grandfather brought all the cousins down here. And when I say all the cousins, that would be 7 of us, of which only 2 were girls. And we came down to the falls, and we also went up to the other portion I was telling you about. I don't think we ever went further down the gorge to some of the places that I'm going to shoot tomorrow and maybe even take a look at tonight. But I just can imagine all of us running wild, and I was the oldest of all the cousins, so however old I was, everybody else was younger. But my cousin that was closest to my age, we were up on that top section, and we actually climbed all the way down the mountain. And I don't know, it's probably an 800-foot ascent from the river bottom. And anyway, we climbed all the way down, then came all the way back up like it was nothing. If I recall correctly, I was a little tired coming back up, but still, different days. Since we had to cut that part of the hike a little short, and then by the time I reached the top again, the sun's back out. One thing, I've got to find a place where I'm gonna set camp, but also there's a cabin down this way, and I'm currently here on a weekday, so I'm not expecting a whole lot of traffic. In fact, on the weekends you have to have a permit in order to camp in the gorge, but during the weekdays you don't. So I shouldn't have any problems camping down in the gorge on a backcountry type camp. Up on the top of the ridge here, on the western side, we've got numbers of campsites that run up and down the road, and I'm gonna find one of those and we'll park there. But just down the road here from the Linville Falls trailhead, there's an old cabin that's beside it's the Rangers station, and I don't know what kind of shot I can get right now. I have shot it digitally in the past, but I think it would make a good film, black and white. But I'll need to see exactly how it falls up here with the way the sun comes to the trees as late as it is in the day. But we are just about here, so we'll pull up here and at least let you get to see the station, the cabin I'm talking about. It actually may not make too bad of a shot right now. Let's see, I'm gonna park here and let's get you out. I'm not gonna have you on the typical thing that I usually hold this GoPro. This is a GoPro 4 session, so it basically looks like a cube. It is a cube, but come up here. And here's the cabin I was talking about. That might come out okay. I think I'm gonna shoot it this evening, but it could come out to be a pretty nice composition. Medium format with the film is going to be I'm shooting 6x6, so think of an Instagram type photo, square. So you'll have to picture that in a square frame. That might come out okay. I got the next few days I can do that, even as I leave on the final day. So we'll decide on that a little bit later. Got a nice big light coming in, and still have some low clouds. I don't know if I'll be able to get to a spot where we can see what it looks like on the other side of the gorge in time, but I'm gonna try. Basically, what I'm doing here is we're driving an old dirt trail, and I'm gonna go to a spot called Wiseman's View Overlook, and from there it's got a great view across to Table Rock and Hawksbill Mountains, and it's a perfect spot for viewing at night when there's no cloud cover. Last year I got some storm photos as the storms were heading from the east to the west, with lightning strikes back behind, I think it was behind hawksbill, if I remember correctly. I'll have to look back at the photos to know for sure. And I'll show it to you right here. But I don't know what, there's too many trees for me to even get an idea of what it looks like that way right now without getting to that overlook. The trailhead for the overlook is not very far. It's not very far from the trailhead to the overlook, but to get to the trailhead, there's a lot of bumping and such, so you can't really go but so fast. I tell you what, we're gonna park right here in just a second, and I'm gonna show you something that is really a clean, cool looking shot, and I have no clue whether you can see it right there. But I think I'm gonna pull the camera out real quick and catch that lit up against that dark sky. Got a couple shots with the D750. It's probably not going to be what I want, but it was interesting anyway, with the brightness of the mountain from the direct sun hit, and the darkness of the deep bluish gray, battleship gray clouds behind it. But I don't know, I may have a chance to actually set up something down here.